Welcome to the Stats on Stats Pod, yeah.
Hey y'all, real quick, we just want to say if you're an aspiring cybersecurity professional, a couple tools that you should be familiar with are SIEM Source Solutions. They are the backbone of pretty much every career in cybersecurity. Tiffany and I have actually taken a ton of cybersecurity training. We are very fortunate in that aspect. And so
we're proud to announce that we've partnered with Ellington Cyber Academy. Kenneth Ellington and his team are going to be able to present you with training to help you not just learn to be a team member using the SIEM Store, but also they help to guide you and mentor you for long-term success even after the courses are over. So
yeah, they teaching you technical, they teaching you soft skills. Like, this is one of the only programs that we've encountered that is going to make you an all-around cybersecurity professional able to make an immediate impact wherever you end up employed.
You may see some of their information. Take some time, check it out if you're interested in learning more about SIEM Store and advancing your career. This is the group that you want to work with.
All right, banter real quick. Yo, what's going on, Kevin? How you doing? Hey.
Good.
That's what's up. That's cool. Okay, so do you know what's about to happen before we ask you a bunch of questions about KevTech and all the other things?
No, but I'm down for anything. Let me know.
All right, we're gonna play a game. It's called That's My Jam, 90s R&B edition. Here are the rules. The rules are we're gonna play covers of 4 different songs. They're gonna be 90s R&B songs. You have until the end of the song to guess either the name of the artist or the name of the song. If you get both, that's awesome, but the points are still the same. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. Song number 1.
Before I let you go, can I get a kiss goodnight, baby? Before I let you go, can I get a kiss? Before I let go, before I let you go away, can I get a kiss goodnight?
He's making a face like he might know. No? Okay, you good. All right, that's Before I Let Go by Blackstreet. No? Not ringing a bell?
Mm-mm.
So what's your 90s R&B repository?
I listen to like Usher. I listen to like I listen to like the billboards. Remember the billboards?
I got you.
Back in the days with the billboards. Yeah, that's what I listen to. Those are like I listen to a lot of those types of songs and Spanish music. So,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So he'll join the 30 to 40% that get 0 out of 4. It's all good. All right, song number 2.
You make me wanna throw my pager out the window. Tell MCI to cut the phone pole. Break my lease so I can move. Cause you're a bugaboo.
You gotta know this one.
I wanna put my number on the call block. Have AOL make my
Anthony,
email
who is
stop.
this?
You a bugaboo.
You don't know who this is? Yeah, but who's it by? Destiny's Child, fool.
Oh, that's
all right.
Show.
Song number 3. What are we doing? What are we doing?
My whole life has changed since you came in. I knew back then you were that special one. I'm so in love.
You look like you cooking. You think you know?
Yeah, I know this song, but I don't know the name of the artist. I know this song. I know this song.
No one completes. Glad you came into my life.
You want to guess the song?
The name of the song. I don't know the name of the song. I don't know the name of the artist. The song sounds familiar though. That's the thing.
Do you know who sings the pony song? It's Genuine. It's fine. It's Differences by Genuine. All right, last song number 4.
I think I saw your baby mother creeping at your back door.
Who's this?
Yeah.
Wait, who's this?
And you're lying, that's been cheating. I can't take
Okay, this is Maya. Moving on. All right, anyways, 0 out of 4. You're good. You've joined the elite 30 to 40% of people who get 0 out of 4 on this show. So, all right. Let's go ahead and switch gears into the reason people are actually here. If it's your first time, welcome. If you already know the vibes, welcome back. I'm Jordan, a.k.a. Jay, a.k.a. The Chosen One, a.k.a. Big Stepper. And I'm here with my co-host.
I am Tiffany B. We're so excited that you're here for this episode of Stats on Stats podcast, where we get to talk to leaders in the cyber IT technology spaces. And of course, speaking of those leaders, we have somebody with us here today, and he's going to introduce himself, tell us who he is, where he's from, what his role is, and how long he's been in this tech space. So take it away.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so my name is Pornurio. I have over 10 years of job experience in IT, system admin. I've been in cybersecurity for about over a year. I work as a security specialist for an MSP company, and I'm a technical instructor. So I do tech training for a community college. I teach IT support, and I help people break into IT and get into IT. And you asked me about me, I do way too much. So I have a YouTube channel. I work with Rise to Cyber, where we do education for minorities in IT, like Latinos, Latinas. We're partners with women in cybersecurity, Blacks in cybersecurity. I'm also a moderator and instructor for Boots to Books, where we work with veterans. We help veterans get into IT. And yeah, that's pretty much it about me. And I have a YouTube channel, so I do tech training there. I make videos on IT support, help desk, system admin stuff. So yeah, that's a little bit about me in a nutshell. I'm all over the place, but yeah, it's pretty much me in a nutshell.
So real quick, before we dive too deep into the episode, because according to the analytics, if we don't do this now, y'all not going to see it. Kev, what is KevTech?
KevTech is my YouTube channel. So you can find me as KevTech IT support. I have a YouTube channel, and then if you really do more research on me online, you could find me as KevTech Academy. I do technical training as well on my platform. So I do train people to get into IT, and yeah, I have different resources for training. So yeah, it's about me. So.
Kevin, we would like to know your origin story. So can you tell us really what got you into the IT world?
Oh man, it's a long story, but I'll try to make it short and sweet to the point. So I started out as a huge gamer. So like I love my video games. I love PC games, console games like PS1, PS2, PS3, Sega Genesis, Game Boy Color, Nintendo 64, games like that. So I've always been a huge gamer. I love my video games. And I've been a PC gamer for a while too. So fun fact about me, I have like 14,000 hours on one game that I love playing. So I used to play a lot of video games, and I worked in restaurants. So I did a restaurant for about 12 years, and I did 4 years in the NYPD volunteer. And I wanted to go into a career because I didn't see myself being in restaurant for a really long time. Because at some point, like restaurant, obviously, you could get a job in restaurant and be in restaurant and be a manager and move your way up. I was a manager in restaurant, but I wanted to do more than that. So I ended up trying to get into IT, and I went on Reddit, I asked for help, and literally no one would help me. So I was like, okay, I'll ask you about this. And then obviously this is like over 10 years ago, you have trolls, you have people that make fun of you, you have people that talk bad about you and stuff like that. So it's just like, I don't even know if I want to work IT with all the people that are like very unsupportive. It's like, what is this, right? So then I was playing video games, and I'm a huge gamer. Counter-Strike Source, Counter-Strike 1.6. If anyone knows what that is, you know what I'm talking about. That's old school. I'm like very old school. And I went to go to my buddies are veterans. They love playing video games. They are retired from the war in Iraq, and they helped me out. So I asked them about, can you tell me about how to get into IT? Because a lot of them were in IT, and all of them told me the same thing. Oh, go get your CompTIA A+. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Is that like a grade or what is that? And he's like, no, that's a certification, Kevin. So I was like, oh, okay. All right, cool. Let me go look that up. And then I went online and I found the school that actually teaches that. And I ended up going to that school. And it was like one of those mental battles with me, specifically for me with getting into IT, like a mental and physical battle. Because I did like 14 hours in restaurant, and my dad was taking dialysis at the time. So it was like either like, do I continue going to the hospital, visit my dad and not study at all? Or do I, study, do the extra hours and then get into IT? Like what do I want to do? Right. And then I talked to my dad, and my dad's like, yeah, go study, go do your thing. So it was like it was a big struggle for me because I had to take care of my dad. He had health issues. Then after that, I went and studied, and I got my A+. And my teacher, my professor, told me that, do you want to work for the school and do break and fix, like fix computers, upgrade them from Windows XP to Windows 7? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And I ended up doing that. And then just from doing that, he recommended me to a hiring manager that worked for the Department of Education. And that hiring manager came to our school. He interviewed me. He liked my personality, and he gave me a chance. And that's how I got into IT. And I told him straight up, like, literally, I have no tech skills, but I have a restaurant background with soft skills. So, like, you could teach me the technical stuff, but the soft skills, you got to have it or don't have it, or you learn it over time. It's one or the other. That's the reason why you should hire me, because I'm willing to learn. I have great customer service. I have patience. I have empathy. I'm human. And I know that when you're helping customers, it goes back to the human element. You have to know how to talk to them. Don't make them feel dumb or silly. And, obviously try to be relatable and make sure you're approachable when it comes to IT. Because a lot of people that are in IT, they're super duper smart, but they don't know how to talk to people. So that's the reason how I got into IT is that's just my story, if that makes sense. So
That's a fire story. Every time I hear your story,
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like you undersell it, actually, because you're such a casual dude and you're just like very matter of fact about it. But like the fact that you were like working 14-hour days and then taking care of your dad and then also studying, and like you're here, and I mean that's crazy. That's dope. Like you're built different. Period. You're built different.
Were there any moments in that time that really solidified your devotion to being in IT?
For me, it was like, it's gonna sound really, it's just, I guess this is a Kevin thing. It's gonna sound really strange, but like for me is when I had to do a migration. So like I set up new hires. I worked at a Blackstone Group, so a big financial firm, and I set up new hires. And I don't know, for me, for some reason, it's fulfilling when you set up new hires and you move people and you set up desks, you set up computers, you set up monitors. And then with me, it's like, I'm very like, I'm not saying perfect, but it's like, I have to like take a picture of what someone's desk is set up. Like if it's like someone that already has been in the job and I'm moving them to another desk, I take a picture of everything that they have on their desk and then try to mirror it when I move it to another desk. And when I did all that and I set that up and I done all that, like I don't know, I just love touching technology. I love touching computers. Being part of IT and talking to people was kind of cool, because it's like I get to help you, but also I get to listen to you and hear like what are you struggling with? What do you need to work on? And also, how can we improve our technology? Because I don't want to get the same tickets over and over again. It doesn't make any sense, right? So working with the customers, working with I don't want to say end users. I don't like to say that word. I'd say customers or clients. So I don't look at an end user, or I look at someone, as a person, right? So with me, it's like that's very important, is having the ability to like do hardware setup. That stuff for me is fun. I mean, break and fix is not fun for everyone. I mean, for me, like setting up computers and all that, that's fun for me. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I used to do that, actually. I actually really enjoyed it, but I think I was officially kind of done with it when I had to go crawl under someone's desk. And it was like, you've probably never had this experience before, but like I'm crawling under someone's desk and this lady's desk had shoes. So many shoes. And I was like, this not it. I don't think that right there was, and I was like, I think sitting at a desk doing cybersecurity things, looking at logs, that's more me.
No, that happened to me. So I worked with a customer. They had like thousands and thousands of shoes underneath their desk, and I'm setting up their monitors. And Kev was like, "Is it okay if I move these shoes?" So, yeah, Kev, go for it. And I'm like swimming in shoes underneath the desk. I'm like trying to swim, and I moved everything over and I set them up. And then it was just funny for me. It's like, okay, whatever. It doesn't bother me at all. It's like, whatever. And then I just move their stuff. The thing with me is that you have to understand that I work with, like I just said, Blackstone Group. I worked a lot with executives and C-level folks. So like I guess their expectation, the bar is extremely high with customer service. It's like, you can't be fighting, you can't be screaming at anybody, and then they can't be screaming at you either. So it's like, you got to have that top tier customer service. And then it's like, with me, it's like, with the executives, specifically the executives, I work with their admin, and then I work on their schedule when they're available, and I try to be flexible with them. And I think that's the reason why I got along with the executives, is because I'm not your typical IT guy where it's like I hide behind the computer and I don't want to talk to no one. I'm antisocial. A lot of people that work IT, they're like hide behind the computer. They stay on their computers, stare at the screen all day, and they can't talk to anyone. Like I'm not like that, because I come from a restaurant background, so it's like okay, throw me in there. Let's see what's up, And then they threw me in there. So, oh, kind of like, you're different from everyone else. You like to talk to people. I'm like, yeah, you put me in a room with 500 people, I'm gonna shake everyone's hand, and I like to get to know everyone. That's just how I am as a person. So,
Built
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So check this out. If you're interested in getting into cybersecurity, it's constantly changing. So something that's going to be extremely important is understand how the adversaries move.
That's why mastering the MITRE ATT&CK framework is something that's going to be crucial for any cybersecurity expert.
So that is why we are excited to announce that we have a partnership with MAD20. Now, what does that mean?
That means that we are partnering with them, and we're going to be able to give you hands-on learning, training, certification through this partnership.
It's awesome because it is completely focused on the MITRE ATT&CK framework. We got a 15% discount. So if you are interested in checking it out, we highly encourage.
If you're looking for a structured way to analyze and counteract attacks at every level, then this is going to give you the language that you are looking for.
You can go ahead and use our discount code to get 15% off training. That code is StatsOnStats15. So go ahead and check that out.
We'll see you next time. Good luck. You're an extrovert. What are the soft skills do you feel like are great for you in this role?
For IT is always the communication skills. I think working in fast food and restaurant, or just being in a job that's not IT related, it has helped me a lot because I know how to break something down in a non-tech way. There's a lot of people that are super technical. I have people that I have worked with, like engineers, people that work in DevOps, programming, and they're super smart. But then when I ask them, can you explain this to me like I'm your mom and dad? They don't know how to do that. So it's like, do you know how to communicate properly? Do you know how to explain something in a non-tech way? Especially with the executives, when you're presenting a product, like for example, Splunk, or you're presenting some sort of like SIM solution or something like that, and you're working with these executives and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. You're too technical. I don't know what you're saying. So Kev, we're gonna buy that coffee machine versus buying that SIM solution because I have no idea what you're talking about. So it's like very important. Like when it comes to like, you guys know what I'm talking about. When it comes to the executives, like I can't say, oh, the flux capacitor is not working, right? You can't say that. Or you can't say I'm open the command line and when IP config release renew DNS and I start talking about all this nonsense, right? It has to be super non-technical because if you're not, they're not gonna understand you. They're gonna invest money on something else, and they're just gonna walk away. At the end of the day, that's just that's just being realistic, So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
Outside of your personal experiences, what global or industry-wide trends convinced you that training courses were a necessity? Because you're doing KevTech right now. Like what made you sure this was where you needed to go?
So I have a like a origin story for that as well. So I had no followers on YouTube for a while. And then during the pandemic 2020, I was invited on another YouTube channel. I collab with other YouTube channels. I don't mind collabing with other YouTube channels. I'm cool with that. The thing is with me is I guess like you said, I'm built different. I don't look at people as competition. So I look at everyone as equals and yeah, let's help each other, right? So for me, it's like, yo, let me go on this YouTube channel. And I have this buddy of mine that I'm still an instructor for them. And he invited me on his YouTube channel. He had like 40,000 something subscribers. I only had like a measly 4,000 at the time. And they invited me and he invited me to teach. And I taught on his YouTube channel and people have never seen me before. And they watched me like teach classes like, shit, who is this guy? This guy could teach. Who is this guy? He's really good at this stuff. And people started following me after that. And my channel went from 4,000 to 10,000 followers. And it was because of that. And then my I guess the guy from the other YouTube channel is like, you have a knack for teaching. Like you're really good at this stuff. And then I also interviewed, I'm not sure if you guys know, I interviewed Mike Myers, the CompTIA A+ guy, and on my channel, and he said the same thing. He literally said, okay, you're good at teaching, Kev. You should do this because you're really good at that stuff.
Wow.
So like he gave me some props, I guess. And yeah, and I'm like, let me just start my own stuff. So I started making my own training platforms. I have a Udemy course that has 24,000 students. It's rated like 4.8 7 out of 5. And yeah, I just started teaching because I for people that watch my stuff, they like to watch my stuff because I break it down in a super non-tech way, like I'm your mom and dad, and I use like analogies and examples, right? I don't just say something and then I don't just throw something at you and expect it to stick. It doesn't work that way. So like I figure out that everyone has their own way of learning, whether you're hands-on, you're a book person, everyone has their own unique way of learning. So you have to figure out how that person learns. Once you figure out how that works, then you could reverse engineer that and then you can learn, you figure out how you learn. That's just how it is. So that's why I created my stuff. If that makes sense.
As an instructor, I feel like, Kevin, you're probably learning a lot of things from your students while they're also learning from you. So could you tell us give us 2 things that you feel like you've learned from your students during this journey?
I want 3. Give us 3.
So a lot of people that I work with, the students, and I always say comparison is a thief of joy, because it's like you compare yourself to someone else. You have students that this one student is like really smart.
Real quick, pause. Can you say that again? Because that was bars. Say it again. Comparison is the thief of joy. Dang, I felt like that needed a pause. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry. That needed its own moment to breathe. That was.
Yeah, no, you're good. No, it's a lot like I can't compare myself to someone else. You can never do that. And a lot of students do that. Like I have a student that this guy's like up here. He just got his A+. He's like doing all these certifications. He's like really smart. And then you have this other guy that's like that. I'm not saying he's not smart, but he's comparing himself to the other person. I'm like, dude, don't do that. Like you're going to get there at some point. Everyone's journey is different, right? So you cannot compare yourself to someone else. So that's one thing that I tell my students, never compare yourself to other people. And then number 2 is like when I talked about learning, figure out your way of learning. Everyone's way of learning is different. So you may be a hands-on person, you may be a video person. Like me, I cannot read a book. You put a book in front of me, I read that, I'm gonna fall asleep. You give me a video with hands-on training, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna have fun. So everyone's way of learning is different. And then for like everyone, that's number 3 is like the mindset aspect of IT. When I work with students, is always a mindset, because a lot of students apply for jobs and they get demoralized because they get rejected by a lot of emails because they have no job experience. So like for me, it's like whenever I talk to my students, I'm like the David Goggins of IT. I'm like, let's go, son, let's get it, let's do it, right? And then sometimes like with when it comes to students, this is the 3rd thing. When it comes to students, is the mindset. And sometimes you need a kick in the butt when you're not doing stuff the way you're supposed to do. So like I'll kick you in the butt. I'm like, here, man, boom, kick you. Let's do it, man. Let's go. Let's get going. So sometimes you need that boost or that motivation when it comes to being a student. You need a kick in the butt, because a lot of students, they like don't want to do anything. They're demotivated, or it's like, man, I don't know if I could do it. And I'm like, don't tell me you can't do it. Just do it. So it's like things like that. So those are like the three things I always like. Those are things I learn from my students, because not everyone learns the same. Like I just said, you can't compare yourself, and learning how to motivate your students, because they're new, they're trying to get into IT. And the problem is too, when you're trying to get into IT, you're in competition with people that already have experience. So how do you make yourself different from all the other people? So that's also important as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. I think something that, again, and it comes down to you being such a humble, just like matter of fact dude. The fact that your experience was you made it, right? You made it from the mud. You was grinding. So like for a student to hear your story and then for you to be like, come on, carry the boats. Like I'm gonna listen to you, because I'm like, he's been through it. You're not just some guy who, you went to college, you just got a job. You like went through it, you hustled. So I feel like this is one of those situations where, you were like really called to do this. Like everything that has happened to you leading up to this moment put you here for a reason. And that's why you're going to continue to thrive and evolve in this. Like I'm always really excited to talk to people who I'm like, I feel like you were truly called to do what you're doing right now. It's awesome. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Like with me is like, and I tell everyone, like, help desk is a thankless job. Like you'll be working in help desk, and I know, and I'm not saying you should start at help desk. Like, you could skip help desk and go into cybersecurity. Everyone's journey is different. And then I tell everyone, like, you get 5 people that have IT experience that have been in IT, you can get 5 different answers. I got certified. I knew someone that, and I just happened to be there at the right time. They recommended me, or I landed this job because someone someone that knows me from someone to someone put me in there. It's like everyone's story is different. So you cannot I can't go here and tell you, oh, go do X, Y, and Z, and then guarantee you a success story, right? Because everyone's journey is completely different from everyone else. So those things are very important when it comes to going into IT. And like I said, help desk is a thing. Like I come from a help desk background, and help desk is a thankless job. You're gonna get people screaming at you, yelling at you. Things don't work sometimes. Customers are upset because your computer is not working. At the end of the day, like I tell everyone, don't take it personal. They're upset at the situation and they're upset that something's not working. They're not mad at you. You gotta like, as I say, I'm like Dr. Phil with IT and then the Gordon Ramsays of IT. So you gotta know how to deal with them, and just handle the situation, right? It's not, how with me, when I work with the executives, I went to a conference room, I had 20 people staring at me. I tried to join the video call and it wasn't working. They're like, Kev, why is it not working? I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on over here. It's just go to another conference room. It's simple as that. Like you gotta have like strong critical thinking and being able to learn, being able to Google the answers, being able to ask for help. That's like the
That
thing that
part.
bothers me like crazy. It's like, dude, ask me for help. Don't think like you have a team. We're here. We're here to help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes people are too humble, or sometimes people are too stubborn to ask for help. One or the other. It's just don't be afraid to ask for help if you're in a situation where you just don't know how to fix it. So that's my tidbit advice.
Wait, look, Tiffany, from now on, people, listen, it's not called asking for help. It's called collaborating.
Have there been any underrated resources that have been helpful for you that you feel like would be great for some new people looking into being in IT roles?
Yeah, for me it's like and I'm gonna say this right now because I haven't spoke about this at all throughout this whole podcast. For me, it's always important to know your fundamentals. So like if you're going into IT, cybersecurity, system admin, whatever job you do, focus on your fundamentals. Learn about TCP, IP, hardware, software, operating systems. All those things are valuable when you're going into IT because if you don't know how an infrastructure works, what's the point of it? I could throw you in a job, and if you know how nothing works, you're gonna be in trouble. Simple as that, right? So like fundamentals is extremely important. When you build a house, it has a strong foundation. If the house doesn't have a strong foundation, the whole house will fall down and fall apart. That's the same with IT. So if you know fundamentals, you'll be okay. And for me, like the OGs is always going to be Professor Messer, Mike Myers. They have some really great content. Like, they've been around for decades, right? So it's just like I always recommend Professor Messer and Mike Myers. I like Jason DeLon as well. Jason DeLon has some great stuff. And yeah, there's a lot of other YouTuber channels. There's like a lot of YouTube channels. Like if I were to tell you how many YouTube channels that I follow, it's just way too many. But those are some good ones to start out with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, those are great. And actually, okay, so you doing training and then speaking about other channels that you watch or other people that you watch. For you as an instructor, what do you feel like makes you more inclined to kind of follow certain channels? Like what are you looking for when it comes to other channels and then also creating content that people feel like they're getting the best value from?
Yeah, for me is like the instructor has to be relatable, has to be likable, and it cannot be boring. So like I know instructors that they just rant and talk, and then can you just give me the answer? It's like that, right? Or you watch a video like, oh, how to fix this error message on the BIOS, and they talk for 10 minutes and then they give you the solution at the end of the video. Like, what the hell is that, right? So like it has to be relatable. The person that is talking has to sound like they're fun and not boring. Because a lot of people make videos on YouTube and they're super boring. Like they're super dry as hell, right? It's just like, what is this? So you have to be likable, you have to be relatable, and the content has to be good information. Like you can't just create a random video and expect this to work and have 1,000,000 or whatever, have 1,000 hundreds of views, right? It has to be relatable to your audience. So like, and this is what I always tell everyone, like if you have a YouTube channel, know your audience. The audience is very important. If you don't know your audience, they're not going to subscribe to you. They're not going to like your stuff. They're not going to comment on your stuff. It has to be very relatable. If it's not relatable, like what's the point, right? So that's just my tidbit advice.
Okay, middle of class. It's me, it's Jordan. We're here. We look like we're falling asleep. What do you do to change the direction of the course?
So for me, like I'm an instructor for a community college, and I have that sometimes happens. I literally pick on you. So like if there's a college class, there's a classroom environment, and I look at someone falling asleep. So what did I just say? Oh, you know what? Come over here. Let's do something real quick. So I will literally pick on you. Like if the class is boring and I'm teaching something, I will pick on you and I'll put you on blast just to make sure you see if you pay attention or not. I'll put you on that. I'll test you. That's just how I am. I am like that with teaching because I don't want anyone falling asleep, but I also want to make sure you're paying attention. So those things are very important.
Do you feel like that's effective in terms of, getting people more involved once they're like, oh, okay, he's paying attention. He wants to make sure that I'm doing well.
Yeah, that's the thing is like you can't teach a class and just talk for an hour. It doesn't work that way. You have to have them involved in it, right? Involve the students in it. Rather it's something like simple, like for me, like I had a student, I had a class with 10 students. I purposely opened the VMware, right? Like VirtualBox or VMware. I set up a VM. I put malware on it, and I had the student remote in. And the student's like, "Why is this not working?" I'm like, "I don't know. You tell me." The student is remoting in into the computer, and the DNS is broken. They can't log in. It keeps redirecting them to adware. Like, what the hell's going on with this computer? I'm like, it's your job. You figure it out. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just a customer asking for help. So I'll have people remote into the machine and I'll purposely mess it up and then get you involved in it and then have the students collab with each other and try to figure out how to fix it. That's just how I do things. I'm not gonna talk here for 60 minutes. That's crazy. So.
I like that. Like when it comes to training, like being in the thick of it just feels like something that keeps you engaged and actually continues you on that journey of like, man, I'm getting this, I'm learning this as I'm going, and it's exciting at the same time of like, I'm solving this puzzle. Your students that you've applied that tactic to, what type of feedback have they given you? And then with that feedback, what have you done to improve your course?
It's the feedback I've gotten is like, this may be a little too complex for someone. So it's like sometimes you gotta take a step back and try to make it a little bit easier. Like, are you like an easy problem? Oh, I need you to install Adobe on this machine, like something simple, right? Keep it simple, and then you go back to the advanced stuff. And I've done that before with like mock interviews. So when I do mock interviews with students, like I'll give you a messed up VM or I'll give you a messed up computer on purpose. But I try to start as simple, like a really simple, like something simple, like, my NIC drivers are not working. So like I disabled the NIC drivers or I uninstalled the NIC drivers and I'll ask him like, do you know what a NIC is? Do you know what an IP address is? Do you know what a MAC address is? Do you know how this got an IP address? Do you know what is DORA, right? So like things like that. And, we just try to break it down to small granular level where they understand what I'm teaching.
So with all of your experience, well, first of all, how many jobs do you have? That's the real, that's what inquiring minds really want to know. How many jobs do you have?
So I work for Rice's Cyber is 1, Boosted Books is 2. I work for a security company, 3. And I do like maybe 5 jobs, most likely 5 or 6.
Let's just skip to the next question of how do you keep yourself grounded?
I have a calendar. So like I have a calendar, certain days of the calendar booked for free stuff. And then certain days of the calendar is booked for work stuff. So I separate my work and my actual like activities and hobbies. Like just like you guys, like I seen videos of boxing. I do boxing. So like I love boxing. So like I do kickboxing. I do 7-minute rounds I do 7-minute rounds with 1 minute rest. So I hit the back for 7 minutes and then take a break for 1 minute. And I do about 49 minutes of that. So I do boxing, kickboxing. If I'm not doing that, I'm playing pool, like billiards. So I'm a huge billiards guy. I love my pool. I have my own pool stick and everything. So I play pool with it's gonna sound very random. I play pool with people in Flushing Avenue, like the Asian community. They have been super like open with me. So like I play a lot with Chinese, Filipino pool players, Vietnamese pool players. When I'm not working, I play pool with them, and yeah, they teach me how to play pool, and yeah, I have a great time with them. They're open with Americans, and yeah, I play with them. So that's the stuff that I do.
Are you like competition ready pool or like shooting trick shots and everything, or you just
No, I play for fun. I play for fun. Like it's like playing golf. You know how the executives like to play golf? It's the same thing with me. I play pool for fun to relax me, and I feel good after that. So
Like it.
Yeah, right on. So what you're also saying is you, me, Tiffany, Tyler, and Kenneth need to meet up at DEF CON and punch some I'm calling it now. I'm just saying. We all need to get together and punch some stuff. Anyway, so let's get into KevTech Academy. So considering all of the knowledge that you've acquired over time, all the training that you have done, it has all come together to build KevTech Academy. So like what differentiates you? Like what differentiates you from a lot of other training programs?
Yeah, so my stuff is not that expensive. I'm not a boot camp that charges $1,000. That's one thing. Number two is I got some experience from Black Hill Security. I love Black Hill Security. I love John Strand. I'm buddies with him. They have training platforms as well. Like they have like pay what you can. So some of my stuff is pay what you can. You literally like give me $1, that's it, and then you have access to like 12 hours of content, right? So it's like a no-brainer. And then some of my stuff is only $20 and $10. Like I'm not trying to be a millionaire or whatever. I'm just trying to help people. So like I try to make it affordable because I know that when I first started IT and I was looking for all these training platforms, I know certifications could be expensive. I know training could be expensive. So I try to make it affordable because at the end of the day, I know not everyone has money. So it's just, try to help as many people as I possibly can.
Like what are some of the, in terms of the courses that you offer, what are some of the courses that you're offering right now?
So I have Office 365. So Office 365 admin for IT support. Another one I cover is mock interviews, how to prepare for a job interview. I have Server 2022 where I talk about setting up Active Directory from scratch on your virtual machine using like VMware, not VMware, VirtualBox and Azure, and actually teach you stuff you need to know for your job and group policy. And then I have a video on cloud computing for Microsoft Azure. So it's over 12 hours of training with me and Ryan. Ryan O'Connell is a Microsoft MVP of Microsoft. He actually taught that class. So like, yeah, I have a couple of videos here and there, a couple of courses here and there.
So I know that because you do give such quality training and you're very attentive to your students and your students' needs. I know you have a lot of success stories. What recently, do you want to share some of the big wins that you're just like, I am super proud of this moment. This is the reason I do this. Like, do you want to share any of that?
Yeah. So I one of the students that I train, because I do have a coaching program on my platform. So I do train people. We do meet up one-on-one every week. And yeah, he got a job. He got an IT support job, fully remote, making 65K. He has no degree. He doesn't even have certifications. So like we fixed his resume. But when I say we, it's like I have people that I work with. So we fixed his resume and yeah, he applied for a job, he got hired, and yeah, that's one success story. Another person I coach, he's working for the Department of Education and he loves his job. And then I had people that get jobs all the time on my YouTube channel. You'll go to the comment section. You'll see, oh, I just got a job by doing this video or by watching this content. So yeah, people do get jobs. So it's, those things are important. And yeah, I'm happy about it. So I'm always happy when I see someone win, it's a win for me. So I'm always happy about it.
Do you take a shot every time someone gets a job?
No, not like that. Not like that. That's crazy.
He's like, there's just too many. I feel you.
What's some of the craziest or most unexpected questions you've gotten from students?
Unexpected questions. Someone asked me to look at their resume, and I looked at the resume, and for some weird reason, they had a picture of themselves on the resume, and I'm like, "What are you applying for?" They had pictures of themselves on the resume, and the thing that's really weird is that they had all like the skills that they have, and then they grade themselves on their skills on what they are between a 1 through 5. So I'm like, why is this on your resume? What? So like they had like a rating system on their resume. So you're saying you're a 2 with Active Directory? What is this? So it's just like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why is this even on your resume? So I had like a student give me the resume and it was all messed up. That was one resume. And I had another person that gave me a resume that was like 10 pages and it was like super long. And they only been in IT for like one year. So I was like, what the hell is this?
That's crazy. So in terms of your actual training academy and all your efforts now, how do you see yourself expanding in the future?
Yeah, so I'm really excited with my training because I just partner with CompTIA. So like because I'm partnered with CompTIA, I get a discount for vouchers and certifications and training. So I'm gonna incorporate that along with my own training. So what I want to do is in the future, at some point, I want to create my own like, I'm not gonna say boot camp, for like a package deal where I give you A+ training and then you get training with me and then we start applying for jobs and then we go over your LinkedIn profile, your resume, et cetera, et cetera. So something that I'm going to work on probably in the next year or so. And then I have a course that I'm working on behind the scenes using SSCM. And it's not being created by me. It's being created by a guy that I work with or that used to work with me that is an engineer for system admin. So he knows that stuff. So he's working on a course for me right now. And I have a few big names that are working courses for me right now, like InfoSec Patrick Gorman's working on a course for me. Professor Rogers is working on a course for me. I'm not sure if you know Professor Rogers. Keep It Techie is working on a course for me. So I'm working with other content creators, and they're working on the courses for me on my platform. So I'm excited about that.
He about to blow up.
Speaking of your platforms, I joined your Discord, and there's a lot going on in there. So why don't you tell our listeners, like, why should they join your Discord?
So my Discord is absolutely free. You don't gotta pay anything. We do have a section for resume writing. We have job recruiters in there. You have like introduce yourself over there. Like introduce yourself, say hi to everyone. I have a lot of moderators, so like we don't like trolls. If you're a troll, you're gonna get kicked from our Discord. Simple as that. We don't tolerate that crap. Yeah, and there's a section for resume. There's a section for home labs. We had a job posting that I posted recently that I got 150 job applicants for help desk. It's a remote job. So like, I'm always posting stuff there all the time. I am there. I'm active there. And sometimes I may not seem like I'm there, but I'm there. I'm just quiet about it. But I'm always looking at people's comments and stuff like that. So yeah, just join. It's free. People have gotten jobs being on my Discord. Like I said, we get rid of trolls. There's a funny thing about me being on Discord is like I'm on 40 other Discords and I'm a moderator on like 30 of them. So like you may see me in another Discord and I'm like, dude, I just kicked you from this Discord. Why are you on this Discord, Kevin? Oh man, I'm here too. So you got to be careful with what you say. So like things like that.
Ooh, community is shrinking. It's shrinking.
What drives you to be so active?
For me, it's like I said with the veterans, like they helped me out when I first started IT, and I just gotta get back. Like pay it forward, right? Like, why not? Doesn't make any sense not to pay it forward. So like I pay it forward because my original origin story is I took care of my dad, but even before that, like I had absolutely nothing. So like if you look at my background, like I'm just a kid from Brooklyn who grew up extremely poor with nothing, extremely humble and had nothing and just grinded out and got into IT. So it's just like that's how I am, and like why not be humble about it? And I feel like the more you have, the more humble you should be, and it should always be that way. So why not help other people?
I feel that. You're doing a lot. You're all over the place, but how do you stay current? How do you stay up to date with all of the new trends, technology, all of that?
So I follow a lot of different companies. I always go to conference events. That helps a lot. And it's like I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but like that CrowdStrike incident, right? It's just like it's crazy, right? The CrowdStrike incident and then the MTA wasn't working, the planes weren't working, everything was all messed up. So it's like you always gotta be up to date. Even if when you work cybersecurity, you must be up to date. They're gonna ask you that. That's an IT question, by the way. That's an interview question. How do you stay up to date with technology? And if you say I don't know, I'm like, really? Right? So that's very important. So I keep up with different companies, and every day, because I work in security, every day I always deal with CVEs every single day. This is a vulnerability, Quorum's a vulnerability, 0-day virus. I'm always dealing with something. So yeah, those things are very important. Just try to stay up to date with technology and follow other companies and follow people and go to conference events. So
before we totally close it out, my question is, are you going to be speaking at DEF CON or just attending?
No, I'm just gonna be attending. I'm gonna be hanging out. I have some people I want to go see that I'm friends with. For example, Gerald from Simply Cyber. I'm buddies with him, so I want to go see him. I always hang out with him. I hanged out with him last year. I want to see Patrick Gorman. I'm gonna hang out with him. There's a few people that I want to go see. This is why the importance of like conference events. Like this is why I tell everyone like, put yourself in conference events like B-Sides or DEF CON. Like you don't gotta go to DEF CON. DEF CON is really expensive, right? But go to like your local B-Sides and then, connect with people, bring a copy of your resume and then see who's hiring. Like I got my job in cybersecurity because I network and I knew somebody and they gave me a chance because I network with them. So like for you that is trying to get into IT or cybersecurity, try to network, right? Put yourself out there, and then see what happens, right? So those things are very important.
Yeah, and so that was actually going to be my my next like rounded out question is, here's a scenario. I have to give you the scenario. So the year is 2050. All right, somebody walks up to you, hands in their pockets. They're, you know, standing in a cafeteria. At this time, it's like a, I don't know, like a, what's a good restaurant?
Cheesecake Factory.
What?
Go with Cheesecake Factory.
Whatever. Okay, at this time, you're in the cafeteria, which is actually a cheesecake factory, and they say, Mr. Kevin, I'm interested in getting into IT. One big piece of advice do you give them?
It's a lot of information, but learn fundamentals. Like I said fundamentals earlier. Learn your fundamentals. Learn about operating systems, networking, TCP/IP. Find yourself a mentor, but find yourself a mentor that actually works in the field that you want to get into. So I'm not going to say you're a guidance counselor, your professor. They're not going to be able to help you because they don't work IT. So get a mentor that actually works in IT. Then number 3 will be for me, create a LinkedIn profile. Go on LinkedIn, set up your profile, start networking, start talking to people on LinkedIn. Build genuine connections. Those things are very important. I want you to build connections with people. I don't want you just randomly blasting resumes on people's LinkedIn profile. I'm saying build genuine connections, get to know people, and and see who's hiring. And then the other advice for me is the resume. Like make sure your resume is tech related. Make sure you have your home labs, your projects in there. Keep it related to technology stuff that the jobs that you're applying for. And then the other tidbit for me is, go to conference events, try to network like crazy. Like I said, B-Sides is a good alternative. There are local meetups as well. There's a lot of like different conference events that you could go to that are paid, not paid. Like I went to AWS Summit event like 2-3 weeks ago. It's free for New York. So like you're going to go over there and go to the conference events, talk to people, network with people, see who's hiring, bring a copy of your resume. And that's it. Just get to know other people. And I know a lot of people don't like to talk to other people, but like, I always recommend like go to like Toastmasters. Unless you're familiar with Toastmasters, like it helps you like to speak. And the same could be said with like go to like video Zoom events and talk and put yourself out there. Like I like Vets to Industry. I'll give you a real life example. Vets to Industry. They put you in breakout rooms and you got to sell yourself for 30 seconds and you talk to people. And that's for civilians and non-civilians. You can do that for free. And then you connect with hiring managers and job recruiters. And then they add you towards the end of the event. And that's like a 4 or 5 hour event. And I always recommend that. That's how I build my connections on LinkedIn. I had like 5,000 followers. I jumped to 10,000 followers just by being on Vesta Industry, and it's free. So just some T-bit advice for anyone that is trying to break into IT.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead and say thank you. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We know you're super busy. You've got like 28 jobs. So the fact that you were able to carve out this time for us, we genuinely appreciate it. Time is currency. We hope you feel it was well spent. So we appreciate you. We love your energy. Love it.
Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it. I thanks for having me again. And anyone watching today, like don't just remember that this is like, I'm gonna say something right now. Just remember that everyone's journey is different. You can't compare yourself to someone else. And like David Goggins says, like I'm gonna say the same thing. Embrace the suck. Like sometimes things don't work out the way you wanted to work out, and you can't give up. Just keep going, and just at some point it's gonna turn around. It's not gonna suck forever. So like, never give up. Simple as that.
I love it.
Awesome. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And to our listeners and our viewers for the Stats on Stats podcast, we are so glad that you're here for this episode. And Kevin, where can people reach you at?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Discord. You could find me on my website. But if you really wanna go in and just talk to me, you literally could email me. It's Kevin, and it's my YouTube channel. Kevin at KevTechITSupport.com is my email address. So you could just email me and send me a message if you have a question about something. I will respond to you. So just send me an email. You can find me as Kevin Apolinario on LinkedIn. And that's it. So.
It was so funny because you asked him the question, like, where can they connect with you? And in his mind, it looked like he was like, Google me, baby. Google me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thanks, Kevin. Yeah. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Thank y'all.